quick snippet. It's going to be one of a few little snippets, but I've been experimenting with my little underground area to try and make it look just a little bit more together. And what I've done is, instead of having stairs here, is I've put a roof as a slope. And as you can see, I've been testing to see which one looks better. So I've got the thatched roof on this side, and I've got red adobe roof on this side. As far as I can see, colour-wise, they both go quite well. So I've been toying with the idea, do I go with this one? Is this one too dull? So this is where I'm at. This is my conundrum. I have a feeling that I will probably go with this as a majority, and then maybe put some of this in, possibly down the center. I'm not sure if I have an actual center of a single row or a double row. I think that's 6 across, so I think it'll be a double row. Or is it? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, very good, Tash. You can guesstimate. So it'll be sort of a double row, just sort of like as an accent, because I think either way, all of them on their own look a little bit dull. But I think that if I were to have them, like, I think having this lighter one as the majority with sort of like a stripe up the middle, I think that might work out very well. So that's what I'm going to try next, and that's possibly what I will show you in the next little snippet. So just temporarily, see ya. And that didn't take too long. Right, I've tried it this way, which I think looks really good. And I thought, well, you've got to try it the other way as well, Tash. So I've tried it that way, which also looks very good. So I can't leave them opposite like this. Well, I can, but no, I can't. So I've got to decide whether I like it like this or like this. And I'll be honest with you, both of them do work for me, but I'm tending to prefer this one. Simply, and this is, I will explain my reasoning here, is that these walls are fairly dark. So having something light against this, and then a dark, and then a light, works better for me than having dark, dark, light. It just seems to add just that little hint more contrast and just that little bit more brightness. So that's what I'm going to go for. But I wanted to show you that, whenever doing something like this, never be afraid to try out different combinations to see what does and doesn't work for you. Sometimes an idea sounds really good in your head, but it doesn't quite work in practice. And this is where, the sense of experimentation comes in so well. And, sometimes I'll try something and my head's going, that'll never work. And you try it anyway and you think, well, condash me, that worked brilliantly. So, try and try. I've got a friend who actually says to me, he's never made a mistake, has never made anything. And that's so true. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from sometimes it's a happy accident. I mean, I've done that when I do my painting. Is I'll get distracted and turn around and put a great big splodge where a great big splodge doesn't belong, and then it's like kind of, well, right, there's the last 6 months' work gone, and then it's like, well, no, I can smear it in and whatever else, and everyone goes, oh, well, that's creative that you put that there, and I'm like, oh yes, of course it was. So anyway, enough of me rambling. End of next little snippet, and me running up and down these slopes like a madman, driving you all crazy. I know I am, but you love me anyway. Okay, so see you in a bit. Ta-ra. and it's snippety time again. I have made a few changes down here, as you can see. I was trying out a few iterations of this little yellow adobe wall, and I've stumbled across how nice this looks. Now, bearing in mind the whole sort of concept behind what I'm doing under here is that this is a staff utility area. It doesn't have to be fancy and ornate as the guest areas above, where I've got the hidden temple blocks and intricate Moroccan star carvings and that sort of thing. But that doesn't mean it needs to be dull either. So I thought it's almost, I mean, this kind of checkerboard pattern is kind of the standard in kitchens all around the world, I think. It's ubiquitous, isn't it? And I kind of like the way that these two colours work together. So you've got this sort of orangey colour with this hint of yellow that you get in this adobe block. It works well with how I've done these slopes. It adds a nice accent here on the wall. It makes a nice floor. It adds a nice little uplight here. And I've changed up here as well. I've changed this floor. Add a little bit of contrast there. I've had to be a bit careful obviously up here where I've added stuff, because this leads onto an outer wall. So if I make any changes there, it'll be obvious from the outside, and we don't want that. And it's the same sort of thing here. I mean, I thought maybe putting it around the outside of the door like I've done downstairs would be pretty, but I'm not sure if it would work with everything else that I've done. But what I will do is I will actually test it out and see if I can't do it on all of the doors. Lighting glitch. And if I like it round all of the doors, it might become a thing. It's like I was saying earlier, it's the whole trial and error thing. And I've even carried that through into here. I've got a slope down here now. I've taken away those stairs, and I honestly think that was the right move. It just wasn't working in here. It was making it too dungeon-like. And although it's an underground storage area, it doesn't have to look like a dungeon. So I've done the tile effect down here, and I think it works brilliantly. So this has basically set the tone now for my downstairs bit. I'm going to expand the storage. I'm going to have an overflow storage sort of thing. So I want this to just be, you know, if I quickly need something, pop in, and I've got a few. When these chests get full, it's not going to be a question of, oh, let's fill this up. It'll be more of a question of take out the surplus. And I mean, I'll give a good example here. If I go into this one, it's mostly this rocky dirt, and that's because I'm building here. That it's completely natural and normal that should be. If I was in a mountain, then I'd have a majority of peak stone. If you're in a canyon, then you'd have the, you know, more canyon stone. It's just an after effect of where you build. So I will eventually have an overflow here. So I will build through here some additional storage. I'll probably take, well, I'll just put this sort of crafted bit here, expand it out so that I've got, well, you know, one for stairs, one for, you know, whatever extras that you tend to make a lot of and use a lot, but then overmake or whatever else. So yeah, an overflow. And then further along, I do intend to basically go down. You know, I'd like to take this right down to where my claim ends at the end of the world, in the center of the world, in the corruption layer. That will happen eventually. I'm not there yet. In this world, I haven't even been down to the corruption layer yet. I want to go down there. I want, you know, obviously you want to farm the resources. I also want to create spawning areas for critters that will pop up in my spawn area. So that's the plan. I'm just taking my own sweet time to get there. I don't think that there is any need to rush. I don't have to stress out about anything. I'm perfectly free to take my own sweet time, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm loving every minute of it. I'm loving every minute of the creative process. I'm loving every minute of making these accidental discoveries of, wow, that looks really good, and sharing them with you. So that's where I am right now. I'm going to go work on something else. Probably just put some of those bungalow fir walls here as mats, and get back to you when I've done anything more significant. So just for now, with me umming and ahhing and whatever else at 4 o'clock in the morning, how dare I? This is me signing out for now. See you later, peeps. Ooh. Just when I'm about to start a little snippet, I have Mr. Rrrr after me. He popped up out of nowhere. What I was going to show you before I got so horribly ambushed, I've made a few adaptations to this capture area of mine. I've removed basically the floor and given it a roof, and I've made sure that there's no natural blocks on top of this roof either. So there's no natural blocks where the teleporter is, and no natural blocks above the teleporter either. I'm hoping that it's still dark enough down here that night creatures and, you know, the underground creatures won't despawn. If they do, then I can remove these torches, though I haven't found that torches cause creatures to despawn. It just stops them from spawning. So I sort of think I'm okay with having the torches there. We'll see when we. That's what experimentation is for. But yes, so I wanted to show you that I fixed this. Yay! Look at me, I'm a fixer. But actually, it should. See my eyes again. I'm going no, but that's wrong. So fix it while I am. Look at me building on camera again. I'm getting good at this, aren't I? Yeah. Oh, let's open that up nicely. Okay. So that was just another little update. I'm really liking this sort of combination that I've got going here. It kind of works having a slope rather than stairs. And I've built this sort of little checkerboard. I'm kind of using, I think, the checkerboard idea to distinguish between staff and patron areas to an extent. I don't know. I think it's just something that it is working. So, you know, if something works, don't question it. So, yes, another little snippet there. And I'll be back when I've done some more. See ya! And another little update. It's been my day for fixie-uppering, I think. This pathway that I didn't like, I have now ziggle-zaggled it up to a stairway up to here. I think it looks a lot better, and it does mean that I can still link this to this main path coming from the main entrance, but it won't look so clumsy because I can bring something out here that it can go up here, because obviously we're going to have more features over this way, and then it can also meander into this one as well. So it'll make the paths look a little bit more natural rather than as clunky as that one looked. It'll add a little bit more interest to the eye because it's not all very linear. I think I've sort of spoken before about how sometimes asymmetry can be more arresting than symmetry, and sometimes you need symmetry. It's all about balance, and I mean this is it. I tried it very geometric and symmetrical, and it didn't work. But then when I do the meander, it immediately becomes more interesting, and I think what I'm going to do is how I've done with the plants and that sort of thing, is to make these sort of very dry patches, make them more interesting. I might add, instead of like I've got the healing water here, but a normal, just a tiny little pond. I might even cascade it down a little bit from here. Yeah, put it started in here, just to add things that are interesting to the eye, to make you want to walk around and to explore and to see things that you didn't see the first time you walked around. And slowly but surely that's what I'm turning this place into. This is going to stay, I think, as a little mini residence. I think I mentioned before that I'm kind of a bit sentimental about it because it's the first little thing I built around here. This I'm going to turn into a reception, and the upstairs is where I'm going to put all the teleporters, and I think that works quite well actually. I might add some more windows in there so people can actually see the teleporters, and I'm sort of sticking to the theme that I've got here, but I also want to work within the parameters of how the Creativerse world works. So in this Creativerse world, gliders are a reality, Arctech technology is a reality, which means teleporters are a reality. So, I mean, we don't have cars or mounts or anything like that, but we have these forms of transportation. So I think it's a valid choice to incorporate them into your builds. So that is what I'm going to do. I think I've finally got this to work. I've been testing it on creatures that have been having a go at me, and they've all plopped into the trap without pinging out the top. So this has been fun. I enjoy problem solving and experimentation, so this has been fun. I'm kind of glad now that I think I've reached solution time, but it was quite a nice journey getting there anyway. I'm not sure how many more of these little snippets I'm going to be recording, but this is a little, sayonara for now. Chat to you later. Ta-ra! Hello again. This is the last little snippet that's going to be all compiled into one video of all these little bits and bobs I've been fixing up around here. And what I've done, we've seen the path, and I've now put in this little water feature. It took a little bit of planning to try and get the nice sort of shape that I wanted. And because this is a landscape that I'm deliberately keeping it on 2 levels, so I wanted this water feature to cascade down a level. I do that because it's giving movement, and also it is giving sound. You can hear the rippling of the water. I've also thrown lots of greenery and flowers around this to make it look very vibrant. Lots of light as well, and I will do a path along here. I'm still trying to work out how I can take an odd number and blend it to an even number. I think what I will do is, where I've got this sideways turned savanna grass. I'll probably put that along here and then just do dirt around here, and that will then blend into this quite nicely as far as the eye is concerned. That's the best sort of compromise I can think of. I am going to work on fixing this because it worked way back when I first did it. Now I'm not happy with it. So this path is going to come along here, and I don't want it to sort of deviate off around like that. I want this to come a little bit more straight, so I will fill this in so it can go straight. So it goes this way, so you can go up there, but it'll also come round to this area as well, which you can see I've closed off. And there's going to be sort of more guest rooms here, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to put some kind of barbecue area. You know, this is the savannah, this is what people do. We tend to call it a braai, but for those of you who don't speak my language, it's a barbecue. So yes, that's the plan on that side. I've also been looking, I think I've filled in a few little bits here. There's going to be hang time. There's going to be a sort of cascading fountain into several pools here. There's, as you can see, there's a couple of natural basins. There's one there, there's one there. I'm going to create an artificial one somewhere around here as well. So we have lots of cascading water and scenery, and I've marked these areas because I'm going to put something quite specific here. My head's still mulling it over, and once I've done that, it's going to be pretty much down to how I'm going to structure the rest of the walls. And I know that there's a river feature that I want to do some things in, but that will be I'd say the majority of what I'm planning to do within this sort of 2 claim area here. I haven't put too much thought in what I'm doing in the in the rear of Kwa Tashlan yet. There will be something there, and I do sort of intend to make it interesting so that, you know, people who come to Mulberry Villa will come to Kwa Tashlan and just enjoy walking around and having a look. That's why we do these things, isn't it? It's to entertain. So yes, last little snippet. So just to show off my new little cascading pool with all the lovely flowers. Been off gathering some tundra flowers to add a bit of colour contrast. And that'll be it probably for this week on Mulberry Villa. Thank you very much for all your time and attention, and for tuning in, and for all the lovely comments that I get. Till I see you next time, you know I love you, peeps. Peace out.